Okay, so do you live with your means, or this is a huge one. I was a banker for 20 years,
I see.
and I have seen many marriages break over credit cards, and people build up 25, 30, $40,000. They have to raise a second mortgage on their property just because one partner or the other has gotten carried away with credit cards.
I see.
So that is very important, that do you live within your means or are you burdened with debt? Because debt is so easily extended. Buy now, pay later. You know, it's so easily extended that people have, and then keeping up with the Jones. In one of my plays, I said keeping up with the Bhattis.
Okay.
It becomes a problem.
I
You
see.
know, so and so has such a nice sofa, darling. Why can't I get this? जानिए मेरे लिए ये खरीद कर दें, मेरे लिए वो खरीद कर दें. You know, you have to curb it right at the beginning. This is the budget. If you prepare a budget, you know where you stand. It'll be fine.
I have a quick question at this point, since you mentioned that you've been working your married life. How did you manage work and the successful marriage?
Work and successful marriage. I think without my husband's understanding, it wouldn't have been possible. If your husband is against you working, it will place a challenge. In the beginning, he wasn't all for it, but when he saw that I can handle both, he agreed. But of course, there's a price that you pay if you're becoming a career woman. What you have to do is, again, going back to the point I was saying, sharing your labor. If you two have decided together that there are two incomes necessary, then don't burden the wife with the rest of the housework. Because this is called, there's a very nice book that people should read. It's called Double Shift.
I see.
What has happened in the past 50 years or so, more and more women are in workforce, more and more families are thinking two incomes are necessary. So the minute two incomes are necessary, both are working, a lot of men just don't pay attention to the fact that now housework has to be divided.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's important. And we divided. My husband was helpful.
But don't you think...
Not always, but not as much as I would have liked to.
That brings me one more question, if you don't mind me asking. But don't you think that if the women work outside, does it affect the education and nourishment of the children?
I think that I would recommend that any family, any couple who has decided that both should work, should decide to have, when they decide to have family, there should be a break period, you know, between her career. And that's a sacrifice that women find it very difficult because they have a setback during those years. But it's much more important to spend time, mother's time with the children is very important. And if father can share some of the responsibilities and give her the break so that she's not constantly landed. Ideally, if she could do some kind of project where time is freed up for her so she doesn't feel now I have become just homebound, you know.
I see.
But I think nobody can give a better care to a child than the parents.
Definitely.
And out of the parents, the mother, I would say, in my opinion.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. So we've covered, do you live within your means? Extremely important. Don't compete with people. And related to that is the next one, that is there spirituality in your home? Do material possessions mean a lot? Like when you're living, especially in Western culture and even back home now, in most of the countries, materialistic societies, you know, as Dalai Lama said, that the minds have developed, hearts have not progressed.
I see.
So if you develop your hearts, the feelings, what's really, you know, some of the nicest things, most pleasures are free of cost.
You're right.
Like a walk together, go into the garden, admire the flowers and roses, rather than be stuck that what kind of a sofa you should have, and so has, you know, this car and we only have this car and whatnot, materialistic attitude will not bring happiness. That's a temporary happiness.
I see.
Yeah. Then another one comes, do you allow, now space is the key word here, so when you listen to me,
Okay.
do you allow each other space? Does being possessive or controlling have a negative impact on your relationship? So when, if you love your wife too much, so much so that you don't want her out of her sight, and everything she has to do is how you like it, how you want it, that's being possessive. That's not respecting her own, that she needs her own space too, because she would need to grow,
Really, is that happen? Because husband is thinking in his way that he's giving her too much attention and the love, and
She would feel very smothered, they call it, smothered. Don't smother anybody, don't overprotect them, don't overpossess them, So what it says is that discuss how you can grow as a couple. That's our recommendation. That how you can grow as a couple and how you can grow as individuals.
I see.
So if she has a hobby that she likes, if she wants to meet some friends on her own, you have a hobby that in which neither of you, like you are not interested in the other person's hobby, you could just follow certain things together, some hobbies together, some sport together. But if there is something like she likes to paint, but you have no interest, zero interest in painting, so she shouldn't paint for the rest of her life?
I think that's not fair.
That's right.
She should find some of her own interest to do things.
Creativity and individuality should be respected. Do you have, this is the next one, and humor is the word.
Okay.
Do you have humor in your life and allow laughter to brighten your days?
I see.
If you're serious all the time, joke around a little bit, share a joke with your wife every now and then, and she should with you.
But not every day.
You could do every day. Morning smile. I'm sure in the beginning it's very easy. It happens automatically.
Really? Okay.
It's the later years that you have to worry about.
Okay. How later? 6 months after?
I think everybody is different. We are all individuals.
Okay.
So make sure that you have humor in life, because some of the 52-year marriage, the couple that we interviewed in my project, they just laugh all the time with each other.
Really?
They're like music together because they're able to humor each other.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Then forgive is the key word here. Do you forgive each other easily or hold grudges forever?
I see.
I've seen situations where a lovely couple, they like each other very much, but a major mistake was made 25 years ago. It's okay. It was a serious mistake. They had discussion. They forgave, or on the surface they thought that, but it's not forgiven. That is no good neither for that individual nor for the other partner, because then that will keep cropping up. So you have to develop that forgiveness. If you have dealt with a situation, with a matter, it's closed subject. Don't hold grudges. But if you are holding grudges, bring it up in your 6-monthly meetings together when you will pick up this magic formula, right? So hopefully you'll overcome if you have any. In your case, no grudges to begin with.